Hey. Hey, yes, Smiley. Okay, audio check. Check, 1, 2. Audio, how we sound? How we look? How we good? How we doing? Audio, video check. Sounds good. Okay. Sounds good. All right. Just keep cooking. All right. That's JS Smiley. Okay, audio check, video check. We're good. Quality okay. Excellent. You use the green screen? Yes, I do. Yes. Yes, I do. I do use the green screen now, and I got it as a gift from a dear colleague. Actually, it has to do with a lot today. Um, it was a really nice gift that I got in 2020, August of 2020. Really, it was July of 2020, and I got it from Riverside. Dear friend of mine. Uh, he heads the Packet Hacking Village and the Wall of Sheep at DEF CON. So what's interesting, the timing was great because we're in a pandemic. Um, Streaming is now the way to go. Like, I'm pretty sure that at that time I was like, you know what? I think we're gonna do this more often or not now. Like, sure enough, time has changed, and now a lot of stuff was now online, and like you know today, future Twitch streams, online classes. I'm going to use this a lot, and it's really nice to have a green screen. And I want to thank Riverside for that. Um, I'll talk a little bit more about it. But we needed a green screen. I remember, in terms of context, we needed it for uh, DEF CON, the the security conference back in 2020, because it was completely online. Um, and we were doing a lot of streaming and stuff. That was a fun time, actually. Last year, the conference was both remote and online, and it got interesting. It was free that yeah, it was free that year to a degree, but you also had to pay for act. You could also pay extra for extra access and stuff. All right, here we are, 4:30. So 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Hello, everyone. I'm Ming Chow. And this is Season 4 of Introduction to Security offered at Tufts University. Um, I'm Ming Chow. That is my Now, whoa, wait a minute. Interesting enough. Um, Here's a title this today is one of my absolute favorite demonstrations, but people are just wondering, wait a minute, what's that email address? What's the wall of sheep in the packet hacking village? And why multiple Twitter accounts? So today is one of my absolute favorite topics. It's completely hands-on, and today we're going to do packet analysis using Wireshark. So the first thing I want to talk about, I want to give a little motivation is and shed light on my other email address and what that packet hacking village is. So DEF CON is the famous or infamous security conference that happens in Las Vegas, Nevada, each and every summer, around July, end of July, early August. And there's a trio of cybersecurity conferences that are in Vegas happening at the same time. Black Hat, which is all corporate, B-Side Las Vegas, which is community and grassroots driven, and DEF CON. This year will be the 30th anniversary of the DEF CON, the very first DEF CON conference. So it will be DEF CON 30 this year. So DEF CON is the security conference that parents warn their kids to never go to. For years, that's what it was. And so I've been involved with DEF CON for years. And I am a member of a team called the Wall of Sheep. And the Wall of Sheep have morphed into something bigger over the years called the Packet Hacking Village. So, what is this thing called the Wall of Sheep? Okay, so first of all, the Wall of Sheep, the security team, we're all volunteers. We pay for our own way to get to Vegas each and every summer, except for the last couple summers. And our mission is two words: we do security awareness. We do security awareness, and we accomplish this mission by doing trainings, interactive demonstrations, and even unconventional methods. A couple years, like back in the early 2010s, we were one of the very first groups to mention. We even did a poster on the dangers of scanning QR codes and RFID tags blindly. Um, we also had a peekaboo booth that showed everything that is on a DEF CON's conference network, and we used Center money for charity. The money was raised for the Electronic Frontier Foundation. But if you've never been to DEF CON before, or when if you're a veteran of the conference, one of the most telltale displays at the DEF CON conference is this thing called the Wall of Sheep. Now, the Wall of Sheep has been a mainstay of DEF CON for years. I first got into cybersecurity in 2004. And my very first DEF CON was in 2006, 2 years later. And when I went to DEF CON, which was at the Riviera back then, God rest his soul, the Riviera Hotel and Casino, I remembered the thing that caught my attention was this thing called the Wall of Sheep. I'm like, what the hell is this thing? The Wall of Sheep for years, even before 2000, before the 2000s, it was all done in paper plates. But what is this thing called the Wall of Sheep? The Wall of Sheep is a wall of all the username, all the accounts that were sent insecurely over the DEF CON network, conference network. Now, the DEF CON conference network is known to be arguably the world's most dangerous and the most roguish computer network. Why is that? The reason are one, because you have attackers, defenders, good, bad, lawyers, journalists, federal agents, law enforcement agencies, underground criminals. Doesn't matter. Everyone descends into Las Vegas for DEF CON. So many people descend into Las Vegas. So you have all sorts of um, security professionals and hackers. Proper term used here: hackers, good and bad, all descending into Las Vegas for one conference. So you don't know who's on the network. So the Wall of Sheep team have direct access to the entire conference network. And so what the team does is it monitors the entire network for anyone who sends usernames and passwords insecurely, unencrypted, over the network, which is really bad. Okay? So we completely eavesdrop the entire network. We eavesdrop the entire network to find username, passwords. We even show pictures sometimes of everything that happens on the network insecurely. And the whole point of this is an education it's an education tool. Like if you're sending username and password for things like social media, email, website, that's really bad. Okay, or any like critical and sensitive information. You don't want to be sending that over an insecure, untrustworthy computer network. And that's the whole point of the Wall of Sheep. So when we find username and passwords being sent over the DEF CON network, unencrypted, insecurely, we would actually post it on this Wall of Sheep. Really, it's a wall of shame. Login, passwords, first three letters uncensored, everything else censored, the domain of the IP, and the application protocol that was used to send the credentials. Okay? So it's really like a wall of shame, but it's an education thing. Like it's an education exercise. So when you're actually accessing your email or website like a bank, you always want to be using a secure and encrypted protocol. Okay. One year, I remember the year that I went to DEF CON, the first year, we were finding medical info. I know Riverside mentioned this. Give a shout out to Riverside. Um, he's the head of the packet hacking village in the Wall of Sheep. One of the things that we were finding was like there was a uh, healthcare medical app from a major university medical center. Someone was accessing the information on a DEF CON network, and we can see like so much and we were seeing like patient data, and we was like, this is not good. So I remember we were scrambling for cell phones and stuff to ask, like we were trying to call this university, this medical center, say, we want to let you know that this is not good. It's that there's a violation here when healthcare information is not encrypted over the network. This is not good. So yeah, we monitor the DEF CON conference network for anything sent, username and password and credentials sent in plain text. So you may be wondering, how do we do this? And how do we monitor a network? And how do we actually rip out username and password and stuff? And that's the whole point of today. The user and the techniques I'm going to show you, what we do at the Wall of Sheep. So what is packet analysis? Packet analysis go by many different names. But the whole idea of packet analysis is to look and understanding computer network traffic. It's also known as so many different terms such as packet sniffing, packet tracing, protocol analysis, network traffic analysis. They're all the same. Now here in this slide, as you can see, I have the word packet all in highlighted. So that may be a new term to a lot of people here, a lot of people watching. Um, Terminology becomes really important. What is a packet? Well, before I actually get into what is a packet, let's understand why. Why packet analysis? Why do you want to understand like what happened on a computer network? Well, number one is to troubleshoot networking issues, like I can't get the Nintendo Switch to connect to the network, or is the Xbox or the PlayStation available, or is my light bulb that has a micro had working? Packet analysis can be used to record communications, email, voice, chat. Now, this can be used for good and bad. Sometimes for the good, for auditing purposes. The bad is we actually want to snoop on something to see what other people are doing, which is kind of a bad thing. Um, Also use packet analysis to reconstruct images and other data transmitted over a network. And of course, the real thing that we're going to really mention today is to catch username and passwords, personal information, and other sensitive information that was sent in securely. Okay? So, packet analysis can be used for both good and bad, like anything else in cybersecurity. Now, here's a little motivation for you. I want to give a shout out to Garrett Graff at Wired magazine. So, I remembered in 2017, a student who was taking this course brought to my attention of this really weirdly worded article by Garrett on Wired magazine. And yeah, I mean, we almost started. I like to joke to people. We started World War III on Twitter, but it was like extremely weird wording, and the article is still alive. It's still up today. And the article was about the botnet, the Mirai botnet, and the words are in the red box here. Quote, on the compromised devices, they had to carefully reconstruct the network traffic data and study how the Mirai code launched so-called packets against its targets. A little understood forensics process known as analyzing PCAP, packet capture data. Think of it as the digital equivalent of testing for fingerprints or gunshot residue. It was the most complex DDoS software I've run across. So, what we're going to do today is I'm going to teach you this quote unquote little understood forensics process known as analyzing PCAP, packet capture data. Recently, last year, there was a cybersecurity conference, but was hosted by that My Pillow guy. Um, and a big part of that day, and I know that my buddy Rob Graham has a blow by blow on this of analyzing the packet capture data for election. Yeah, that guy. For election fraud. Okay? And the whole idea of PCAPs was brought up for sure. Sadly, that conference, and almost no surprise, no PCAP was actually furnished to the people to view. So in cybersecurity, there's always a joke PCAPs or it didn't happen. You'll see why. So in cybersecurity, it's really, or network security too, PCAPs or it didn't happen. So what is a packet? So a packet, what it is a unit of data. So when you're streaming something on Netflix, or when you're actually playing, let's say, your favorite video game on multiplayer online, like Call of Duty, when you're playing Call of Duty online, when you're loading up a web page, when you're actually streaming a video, all those things I just mentioned, the video, the web page with all those pictures on your favorite website, it's all comprised of many, many packets. Okay? Many, many packets. So what you see on your web browser and on your TV screen when you're streaming Netflix, all a data stream. In general, one single network packet contains the following information. It contains source and destination IP addresses, MAC addresses, time to live, protocol, payloads. Yeah. And so that video or that web page that you're actually looking at, this Twitch stream, is all made up of many, 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 many packets. It wouldn't be surprising if there are hundreds of packets for this stream a second. Okay? One single network packet encapsulates all the layers of this thing called the Open System Interconnection Model, better known as the OSI model. So what is this thing known as the OSI model? All you need to know, and this is one of the worst part of this of the cybersecurity course, the OSI model is a conceptual framework that describes functions of networking and telecommunication systems. All you need to know are this: 7 layers. Each layer is abstracted from each other. Think of your post office when you're mailing a letter. The only thing that you care about when you mail a letter from to and from is that your letter gets to the destination within 3 days. You don't care so much about what is being used to actually transfer to send to mail your letter, but all you care about it just gets to the destination within 3 days. You don't care if it's used by the airplane. You don't care if it's a Pony Express is used. All you need to care about is those that the letter gets from point A to point B within 3 days. But really, it takes a lot to get a letter delivered from this from one place to another. I mean, there's a lot that you don't think about, like the ponies, the mail trucks, the airplane, the mail sorting facilities. The list goes on. Okay? So the same idea when you actually, view a web page or do anything on the internet. You only want to get the information that you need. But you don't care about the things like the presentation or how does actually you have one session to another, like how you actually have a computer A and computer B actually have a relationship, have a strong connection. You don't care about the cables that are being used or air, okay? And quite frankly, the OSI model, some parts of it goes off the rails, namely layers 6 and 5, the presentation and the session layers respectively, no one cares about. Okay, the ones that we do care about are the application layer. I mean, that's like the user, the end user application that you all know and love, like email, printing, directory services. Okay, the transport layer TCP have things like flag, flow control, the parts of the message data, port numbers. While the network layer, the only thing that has is the source and destination IP addresses. Data link is the um, data link is the identifier for your networking hardware. Ethernet, MAC addresses, physical layers like cables, hubs, bits, bytes. Okay, but all you need to really know is OSI model, 7 layers. Each layer is abstracted from one another. Highest level of abstraction is at the very top. Lowest level layer of abstraction at the very bottom. So here's the, if you want a nice model of the OSI model in action, think of a Reddit user trying to actually send a message to another Reddit user down the street. Message passing. So you have the Reddit user at the very top of the row trying to send a message down to the person at the at the end of the row. So you go to the Reddit user, once it sends a message, goes to the application layer, transport layer goes to the internet. See, no one cares about layers 5 and 6. Internet layer goes to link layer goes to physical layer. Now it goes back up the river. Physical layer go back to link layer goes up to internet layer go to transport layer go to application layer go back to Reddit user, and the other user received a message from Reddit user, the other Reddit user, you fool. Now that's the OSI model. But what's a PCAP file? A PCAP file is just it's a file. PCAP stands for packet capture. Okay, .pcap is a file extension. The common file extension that's used for the packet captures, and you can open .pcap files in a tool like Wireshark. A 100 megabyte PCAP file can contain like tens of thousands of packets. Can contain tens of thousands of packets. So now you may be wondering, what the hell is this Wireshark thing? Wireshark is arguably, on settools.org, and for years, Wireshark has been dubbed the number one most important tool in cybersecurity. It certainly is the most important tool if you're doing anything with a network. Wireshark is a graphical and extensive packet analyzer. Okay, free and open source at Wireshark.org, formerly known as Ethereal. Wireshark is platform independent. It's available for Windows, Mac OS, Linux version. You can do so much with packets with Wireshark, such as filtering, reconstructing conversation, reconstructing file-based. So Big Mama Tristina said, I rarely use Wireshark as a network pen tester. That is something, I hear that a lot. But if you really have to understand what's going on, like under the network, like the really low-level stuff, you're probably gonna, low. You're in the defense. Okay, you're on the defense side. Makes sense. Okay. Wireshark is, there's a big, what was I gonna say? There's always an argument, it's like, how much do you need to know? I mean, eventually, it's one of those things that people run across every so often, but if you really need to look at like network information at the low level, you're probably gonna have to use Wireshark. Yeah. Hi, Big Mama Christina. Thanks. Yeah. If you're breaking in networks, you're breaking in, right? Unless you want to reconstruct stuff or rip out username and password, you're gonna use Wireshark. But I remembered, the heck was it? When I was starting out learning Wireshark, it was not easy to learn. So one of the reasons why I teach security is, teach the tools and tricks I've learned over the years. Here's a Wireshark interface. The Wireshark interface can be pretty intimidating when you start off. It can be pretty intimidating. But really, it boils down to not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 panels. There's a toolbar at the very top. There is the packet pane list, which is just like a table of all the packets in the PCAP file, or in your recording of packets on a live network. Then there is a packet detail pane. If you click on a packet on the table above, you can actually drill down and actually see all the specific layers of the OSI model. And then, of course, at the very end, if you need to cross-reference with the actual raw packet, you'll see the packet bytes pane, which is just a raw packet in binary format. Okay, so What I'm going to do now is let's do some exercises. We're going to use Wireshark. Now we're going to do 4 exercises in Wireshark today. And all the exercises, all the files necessary for the exercise are all free on GitHub. Can you all see? All right. I'm going to Firefox. Ooh. Update. There we go. Copy the link to this one. Here's the actual where all the files are. Copy this. I already got it downloaded. So we're going to use set1.pcap. Oh, not Blob Master. Oops, sorry. So download it directly. I think it's this. There you go. Ooh, here we go. Set1.pcap. 715 bytes. Yeah. That's the right one. Alright. 715 bytes. Pretty small file. I don't need it. Now, before I open this up in Wireshark, before I open up set1.pcap in Wireshark, I'm going to open up a terminal. I'm going to go to boot camp. That's where I have a complete copy of all the pcaps. Now, on a computer, on the terminal, what I want to do here is I actually want to just open up set1.pcap on the terminal. I want to view set1.pcap on the terminal. Watch what happens. I can do cat set1.pcap. Watch what happens. Ooh. That's it. See anything wrong? See anything? Well, first of all, it's a small file. It's only 715 bytes. But the other thing, when you try to actually view the file, it's all in binary, yeah. It's all unreadable information. It's not readable at all. It's all in binary. It's all in binary. There is a plain text in the middle. And you notice there was some funny noises that was made from the terminal screen. So this is what happened when you try to view a pcap file in a terminal. It's not good. So now, here's the fun part. There's going to be a big difference when we actually open up set1.pcap on Wireshark. We bet there is. I'm going to go to Wireshark. Hold on. Do I got this? I think I can do it from here. So I'm going to go, I'm on my Mac. Developer tools, I'm going to open up Wireshark. There you go. There you go. So Wireshark's going to open up. There we go. And this is Wireshark. Welcome to Wireshark, everyone. Welcome to Wireshark. So now to open up set1.pcap, I'm going to go open File, Open. Now I'm going to go to my home. I'm going to go to my Documents folder. I'm going to go to Boot Camp. And I'm going to open up the 715 byte set1.pcap. Ready? There we go. Welcome to Wireshark, everyone. So here it is. Welcome to Wireshark. You have your toolbar here. You have a table of all your packets in set1.pcap. You have a drill down of each and every one of the drill down of for each and every packet. Notice what happened when I actually click on the different packets. Notice something? Yeah, when I go and select each and every one, I actually click up and down each and every packet. the drill down pane and the raw packet changes. Mm, yeah. All right. So I'm going to do a list. This is an important exercise because it's the first one. So I have a few questions. So, how many packets are there? There's 6 questions. There says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a bonus question. Question number 1, how many packets are there? And what networking protocol? Let's do question number 1, how many packets are there? Question number 2, what networking protocol is used? Let's answer those first 2 questions first. Well, how many packets are there? 1, just count the rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 packets. That's it. Only 8. What protocol is being used? Protocol being used, interestingly enough, well, here it is. TCP. TCP protocol. Yeah, TCP protocol. Only one protocol. How about this one? What's the source IP address? What's the destination IP address? Also, the 5th question is, what port number is the source using to communicate with the destination? Ooh. That is, I think, question 5 is worded a little mixed up. Like, what port number is the source using to communicate with the destination? So, what is the destination port? Okay, so the IP addresses, source and destination IP addresses are 192.168.1.3. That's one source, but the other one is also 192.168.1.8. Yeah, Big Mama Tristina, is this a university? Yes, it is. That's from Tufts. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Have we met before in person? Okay, so 192.168.1.3 and 192.168.1.8 are the IP addresses. But which one's the source IP and which one's the destination IP? The trick to find out is look in the info column, which is like a snapshot of a packet. You have one number, 49859 to port 7777. Ah, you did the offensive security. Nice. 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 Awesome. Then you do 7777 to 49859. Interesting. Okay. So here's the trick. This is the source port talking to the destination port. That's how you read those arrows. You see that arrow here? It's like, so that means the source at, 192.168.1.3 at port 49859 is talking to 192.168.1.8 at port 7777. Ooh. But usually if the port number is that high, 49859 or something, it must be a local computer. Now, port 7777, however, is a known port number for servers, sometimes used for dubious purposes. Okay? So, in this case, you can probably safely say the source IP is 192.168.1.3. is talking to 192.168.1.8. Some computer at 192.168.1.8 had port 7777 open. Okay? But do you also notice something else? Do you actually notice something else? On Tuesday or Wednesday in class, I mentioned something called the TCP three-way handshake. Bonus, do you notice the TCP three-way handshake? And the answer is, well, look. You actually can see the TCP flags here. Yeah, look at this. You can see 192.168.1.3 is doing a sync to 192.168.1.8 on packet number 1. Packet number 2 is 192.168.1.8 is doing a sync ACK to 192.168.1.3. And then finally, 192.168.1.3 is doing an ACK to 192.168.1.8. That's your three-way handshake. You can see it right here in Wireshark for set1.pcap. Sync, ACK. And then somewhere in the conversation, someone's going to do fin. Someone's going to end it all. Goodbye. Yeah. All right, let's have some even more fun here. So click on any packet. Let's click on the second one. You can actually drill. Actually, here's a fun question. What type of computer includes like brand is 192.168.1.3? And what brand is 192.168.1.8? You can actually infer or find out directly by clicking on a packet. And this is where the Ethernet comes into play. Yeah, look at this. You click on the Ethernet layer 2. Here it is, Ethernet 2, layer 2 of the OSI model. And you can see layer 2 where it is on the raw packet. You click on the IP protocol, that's your source and destination, that's where it is on the raw packet. And then all the TCP stuff at the rest of the packet. You notice that in the binary here at the bottom, it gets highlighted. You can see the highlight in the raw, the fourth panel block. Yeah, let's drill down. Look at this on layer 2. And actually sees the destination for set number 2 is an Apple computer. And the source, 192.168.1.8, is a Raspberry. So we have an Apple computer, it's a Mac, talking to a Raspberry Pi. Yeah. And one of the nice things about Wireshark, what it does, it can infer what kind of device, what type of device something is based on the Ethernet, the hardware address that's being used. Yeah. IPv4, look at this. You actually expand Internet Protocol version 4. You can see the source and destination. Where are the source and destination IPs actually on the packet? Well, look at this. Click on source IP source address 192.168.1.8. There it is. On the raw. Destination right next to it. Cool. Pretty cool. And how about the port numbers? Now remember, here's a very important thing. Port numbers are not part of the Internet protocol. Port numbers are part of TCP. So that's why it's called TCP IP. Source port 7777 1E61, destination port, which is in hexadecimal, destination port 49859 C2 C3. Yeah, and you can see all the bits and pieces of information, the end of the packet. Oh yeah, here it is, a sync ACK flags. There you go, A052. There's your TCP flags. All right. So we've done all the next exercises here. We've done all the questions. But we're not going to quit out set 1 yet. We're not going to quit. Is it the secure source communicating with the destination, or is it either way the phrasing is fine? Why are there 8 packets? Well, I can answer that one because I made it 8 packets. I made this PCAP set and it's only 8 packet because I made it that way. So it's nice and simple. Is the source communicating with the destination or destination communicating with the... Yeah, or is it either way the phrasing is fine. But I guess the other thing is that you can say is, I guess the phrasing either way is fine. It's a good question. It just has to deal with, depending, is relevant to what IP address you're talking about. So in this case, the source is 192.168.1.8 talking to 192.168.1.3. But the caveat is a sync ACK. So really, I like to say, like the client in this case, the Mac, 192.168.1.3 is talking to a server of some sort at 192.168.1.8. How are the packets split up? The packets are split up. That's a good question. They're in binary. So look at, let me click on packet number 1. Packet number 1, this entire thing right here where my mouse is entirely packet number 1. Yeah, all the information such as source, destination, protocol, TCP flag, payload, they're all here. A piece of the payload, piece of the puzzle, it's all here. So there is a way to chop up a packet to say to identify which piece of the packet is what. I'm not going to get into that here for this course. Okay? What does PSH mean? Push? That's a good question. Push is an indication that by the sender that if the receiving machine TCP information has not yet provided the data it has received to code and reading it, it should do so at some point. Push. Yeah, here's the Stack Overflow. Ah, what an awful answer. Oh, interesting. PSH is push. Don't worry too much about that. Okay. Abby's question is really good because a packet is split up in a certain way. I don't want to talk about that today because, yeah, when you have a raw packet in binary contains all that information encapsulated, like source IP, source and destination IP address, protocol, port number, payload, everything's all here. How it's broken up, I actually don't know at the top of my head. But you can actually listen. Usually it goes Ethernet layer 2 first, then layer 3, then layer 4, then not really anything that's really specific. Okay? Now, let's get to the fun stuff now. How do you actually reconstruct a conversation in Wireshark? How you reconstruct a conversation in Wireshark is the following. If you actually want to rebuild a conversation, that actually includes things like pictures and stuff, all you need to do is click on a packet. It'll be any packet, highlighted in blue. Right click on the packet, go to follow, and then follow one of the following streams. Like TCP stream is the most common. Diagram, where's diagram? Bottom right. Oh, bottom right. I'm not sure what the diagram is. Bottom right. What is the takeaway from these info from Wireshark? Okay, let's do that right now. Right click, let's actually reconstruct the conversation between 192.168.1.3, my Mac, and the server at 192.168.1.8. Right click, follow TCP, well, it's the only option, TCP stream. And there you go. It's only one message. So that means 192.168.1.3 sent a message, what, me worry, to 192.168.1.8 at port 7777. And the entire conversation is only 15 bytes. There you go. Now, sometimes you may see multiple streams. That means between computer A and computer B, that means 192.168.1.3 and 192.168.1.8, there are multiple files and pieces of data that are being transferred. In this case, it's nothing. It's only one stream, stream 0. What me worry. That's it. And that's set1.pcat. As you can see, here is the filter. We're not going to need the filter yet. But let's do another exercise, another example. Let's move on to a fun set. Let's extract some pictures. So here is a second exercise. Using the same technique that we just used. When you download set2.pcat, yeah, that is the whole message. That's it. The whole message is what me worry. That's it. Okay, hold on. That's a great question. I thought each packet holds a different message or payload. Yes, that is correct. The problem in this case is what me worry is so short, it can just be in like one packet. Did I close that one yet? I don't think I did. But actually, you can actually see here where what me worry detects which packet it is in. Here it is, the fourth one. What me worry. That's it. It's so small. You can just fit it in one packet. Is there a limit to how much data each packet can carry? The answer is yes. There is. Yes, there is. 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 Absolutely, there is. Why do we need 8 packets to send that one message? Well, there is a handshake, sync, ack, and ack. There is your body. There is a push. There is your text. There's also another acknowledgement, and there's a pin. And I forget what this ACK is. Why is set 2 missing packets? It is. Hold on. Here's set 2.pcap. Set 2 is missing packets? It is. I don't think so. What should it be? Why is that? So I'm now going to open up set 2.pcap. Now set 2.pcap is 390, about 391 kilobytes. There it is. Oh, if you're missing your numbers, make sure that your filter is cleared out. Make sure there's nothing. Clear out your filters. Here we go. Here is a set2.pcap. Now set2.pcap gets interesting because how many packets are here? In this case, there's 482 packets. A lot more than the 8 that we dealt with in set1.pcap. But this one gets interesting. This one gets really interesting. Because now you're seeing multiple, well, source IP, okay, so now you have an interesting thing. You have source IP address is 192.168.1.228, and the destination is 192.168.1.8. And you notice here the first 3 packets are the handshake, sync, ack, and ack. But you also notice that the protocol goes from TCP first, which is generic, down to a more specific application protocol, which is layer 7, FTP, the file transfer protocol. So now, this is a good example to illustrate the difference between FTP and TCP. Most of the protocols that we all know, use, and love these days, HTTP, FTP, email, they use TCP. The first thing that has to happen for us is the TCP 3-way handshake, sync, ack, and ack. But then it gets to the more specific, protocol-specific stuff. Once the handshake happens, now you can actually do the specific protocol stuff like FTP, SSH, HTTP. You get the idea. There are countless protocols that rely on TCP. And you can see here the destination is 192.168.1.8, but the port number is 21. Port 21 is the FTP port. Now, here are the questions. Open set2.pcap. Question number 1. What insecure protocol was used to transmit pictures on this network? I said there are pictures here. And so the answer to question number 1 we just did. File transfer protocol. File transfer protocol sends everything in clear text, plain text, nothing encrypted. I repeat, FTP is very well known and old that it is used to transmit data, any kind of data, insecurely, plain text, unencrypted. So anyone eavesdropping a network can just rip out files just like that. Now the second and third question is a real important one. How many pictures were transmitted? And question number 3 is extract one of the pictures that was transmitted. But here's a hint. You need to show and save the picture as raw format. Okay? Now, let's do what we did. I told you how to reconstruct a conversation. Right-click on a packet, follow TCP stream. Click on any packet, right-click, follow TCP stream. There you go. Ooh, interesting. You see a couple of things here. You see plain text. You see human-readable text. You see a username, Woodworm, and a password, Babyshark. Yeah, FTP, everything is sent in clear text, insecure. You can see files that got transmitted. you can see a JPEG, a text file, another JPEG, and another JPEG. JPEG, JPEG, a text file, JPEG, and another JPEG. The entire conversation is only 925 bytes. Interesting. Is that true? Well, notice that when I actually mouse over to stream, I can see 6 total streams. Can I actually change this and change the stream and see the different pieces of file that got sent from point A to point B on the FTP server? And the answer is yes. Is there a secure version of FTP? Yes, there is. It's either SSH or SCP or SFTP. All right, here's the first file. Ooh, interesting. Does anyone see anything notable? Anyone notice anything here from this second stream? This file apparently is only 16 kilobytes. Anyone notice anything? Yeah, I see RGB, I see JFIF. That's a smoking gun right there. JFIF usually means, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? JFIF, JPEG, GIF. I also see profile text, Apple computer. Scroll down. Holy crap. Copyright, yeah. Let's go to another stream. Let's go to stream 2. Again, another JFIF. This time you see Adobe.com. But you see a lot of gobbledygook. This is all gobbledygook. But what this gobbledygook is, it's actually all the binary for a picture. Not bad. Stream 3. Cybersecurity as Real Politics by Dan Geer. August 6, 2014. This is Dan Geer's Black Hat 2014 keynote speech. All in text. Yeah. All that text. Also notice that all the data is shown as ASCII. ASCII, human readable. Another JFIF. Another JFIF. Okay. And okay, thank God I didn't close the terminal yet. Well, I'm going to take a look. Right now my desktop is empty. I have nothing on my desktop. Nothing. Nothing on my desktop. What are the streams? The pieces of all the files that got transferred or transmitted between point A and point B. In this case, close the filter. Between 192.168.1.228 and 192.168.1.8, the FTP server. So all the streams represent the individual, like the different files or data that got transmitted. Here we are, back at stream 0. Now, one thing I can do is now let's actually rip out the pictures. This looks like a picture. So what I can do is do a save as. One thing that you can do for each and every stream is to do a save as. And I'm going to save this to my desktop called out file. No file extension. Hit save. Now, remember this. Remember the terminal I had open? I'm going to go to my desktop now. Out file. So I'm going to do a file, out file. It's known as ASCII text with very long lines. What does the file command do? Man, file. Yes, you can think of it as, do they represent file? Yeah, you can think of a stream as a representation of a file. Man, file. File is a determine a file type. But wait a minute, I thought you said that we're extracting pictures here. Yes, that's correct. The problem is we saved out file as an ASCII text. We didn't save out file, however, as binary. So we need to do a change. If we actually want to save a picture, we can't just save it as ASCII text. we need to do this. Follow TCP stream again. Stream number 1. We need to show the data as not ASCII, but as raw, also known as binary. Save as, and now let's do out file. I'm going to replace it. I'll replace the first out file that I had. Now, I'm going to do file, out file. That's the file that was on my desktop, and you notice a difference. Out file is a JPEG. You can see it's no longer ASCII text. Out file is now a JPEG. This is what happens when you actually save something to binary data or raw in Wireshark. So I'm going to actually now do a rename of out file. Move out file to outfile.jpg. I'm going to rename out file to outfile.jpg and watch what happens. Come on. Hey, hey. I need this. So I'm going to rename outfile as outfile.jpg. Does RAW get compressed to JPEG when saving? And everything is preserved. No compression, there's no compression, everything is as is. Here's your first image from that set. Now, let's save the other ones. Stream 2. Yeah, it's ASCII, but we don't want to save it as ASCII. We want to save it as raw. Oh, file 2. Stream 3. Yeah, this is ASCII, so I say. Save as dgear.txt. We don't need to save it as raw. We want ASCII for this one. This one. Got a raw. Show data as raw. Save as. Oh, file 3. And I think we have one more. Save it as raw. That it? Yep, that's it. 5 stream, that's it. Close. Oh, what happened if I save it? Yeah, sure. Hold on, let me come back to that question. Hang on. Now you see D gear. Hold on. More D. Get the full speech. Oh yeah. File, out file 2. JPEG. Move, out file 2, out file 2.jpg. File, out file 3, no extension, also a JPEG. File, out file 4, JPEG. Move, out file 4 to out file 4, JPEG. We got all our images built. The second picture. The third picture. God, I hate development so much now. Fourth picture. There you go. And those are all the 4 pictures and 1 text file in set2.pcap. Now, just for the fun of it, what happens if you save, let's go back to ASCII. Yeah, what happens if you save a text file as raw? I don't need this anymore. I'll close this. Watch what happens. Holy shit! Look at that. Holy shit. Look at that. If you save it as raw, it's not going to render a picture, but I'll be damned. How about this? If you try to do a diff, dgear.raw, and dgear. Okay, hold on. Let's get that here. File dgear.txt. That's obvious. ASCII text. File dgear.raw. Oh, wow. Damn. Same thing. Blue Cow Dog, you actually, this is a very good one. One of the best questions I've ever seen on Twitter. Thank you so much. Diff, dgear.txt and dgear.raw. See what the difference is? No difference. Yeah, I think they all have the same form. Yeah, okay, so Linux or Mac OS. I think that is very dairy. I think that is. Wow, that's pretty damn cool. I didn't know that. If you actually save it raw, it's gonna be text anyway. That's way cool. I didn't know that until now. Do you have to rename the pictures in order for a proper extension to open them correctly? Yeah, generally speaking, yes. But the more important thing is operating systems need the extension to generate the thumbnail. That's actually a good question, Polar Bytes. Really good question. That you need to rename the images for the proper extension to open them correctly by the respective application. But definitely needed to render the thumbnail. So, Tully, so should we save every file as raw when we're doing this? Yeah. Ideally, yes. Good question. I like 3T Sully 7 question is a good one. Yeah, you always want to use raw. The original format, binary. Good question. I would say yes. Sure. Very good question. Yeah, I hate that. I hate that, Harun Duano. I hate that. When people actually do README, and it really should be like readme.md or readme.txt. It's like, no. Be specific on the file extension that you use. It's a great question. All right, we're running out of time, if you can believe it. Let's do a third exercise, shall we? Now, exercise, how do we get... Oh, Abby, how do we get packets from our own computer? Or is that not easy to do? I will show you now. What you could do is this. On Wireshark, you can... Okay, I'll show you. Wireshark got a file, but you see this button right here, the blue button? That's a record button. Yeah, no, that's a good move, because I get pissed off when people actually say, like, yeah, that's really important, because, yeah, you know who that you can thank? You can thank me. You probably can thank me for the CS15 and CS40 recording extra, because I made a big fuss about it. I'm like, for the love of God, be specific on what, be specific on your file. Don't make me guess or the operating system guess. Okay, Abby, your question on how you record packets on the computer? Yeah, just hit the button called recording. Oh, shoot, hold on. Sorry. Yeah, that's basically how you do it. Quit without saving. But I'm going to do it again. But you also have to make sure you're actually recording on the right network card as well. I don't use Wi-Fi right now. I am using LAN, which because I'm hardwired right now because I'm streaming. So you want to select the right protocol, the right hardware. What's your main internet hardware that you're using? I'm using a USB thing, not Wi-Fi. So you click on that, you hit the blue arrow, the pin, to start capturing, and bang! This right now is our Twitch stream. Yeah! Can we eavesdrop packet on it? Well, yeah, you could. Okay, snoozer cow, the answer is, oh yes, you can. But you need something else too. But that's next week. Good question, snoozer Kyle. But save your thought for next week. Abby, save your question for next week too. Right now, here it is. Here is the entire Twitch stream being recorded on Wireshark by the press of a button. And you can see we're already at 38,000 packets, 39,000, 40,000 packets already, but we don't need that. Let's stop that. Snooze a cow, the answer is yes. But now let's do a fun one. A little bit more complicated. Or is it? Set3.pcap. Let's reconstruct the media file. Now this one you gotta be very careful on. You gotta be very careful about this one. Set3.pcap is big. And you can get this one wrong very easily. I'm going to open up set3.pcap. It's 38 megabytes. This is between 192.168.1.228 and 192.168.1.20. How many packets are there? Holy shit. Lots. 38,000 packets on this. 38,469 packets. Not bad. Something is being sent to port 7777. You may be wondering, what's my obsession with port 7777? We'll get to that this whole course. 7777 is used for nefarious purposes a lot of times. So the server in this case is 192.168.1.20, only using the TCP protocol. But you got to be very careful with this one because you can really botch this one up. If you do a file, follow TCP stream, be very careful because you notice here that here it is, this number is still going. Don't do a damn thing until this number stops. Kilobytes, it is video data, is it? Maybe. Okay, now it stopped. But as you remember, you always want to save the file as show the data as raw. But even when it does raw, notice, don't do a damn thing until the counter stops. Don't do a fucking thing until the counter stops. It's still going. The entire conversation is 37 megabytes. Because if you actually do a save as now, which you could, you're going to get a corrupted file. So it's going to stop at 31,387 client packets. Like, let that, okay, now stop completely. Now you can save as. Now I want to save as to my desktop. I'm going to save this as out file. Again. I'm going to overwrite. Oh, okay. 37 megabytes. Really? No. Maybe it's a different version of Wireshark, but make sure it stops. Make sure 37 megabytes, the conversation. And make sure the conversation stops. Now, what the hell is this thing? I'm going to do a file, out file. The one that I just created. Ooh, here we go. If I do a file, it is QuickTime. So I want to rename outfile to outfile.mov. Watch what happens. Boom. Open with QuickTime or I use VLC. Oh shit. QuickTime is default. All right.
Forever's gonna start. Once upon a time I was falling in love. Now I'm falling apart. Nothing I can do slowly clears the heart.
Oh, I can also open this in VLC as well too, which is a media player. QuickTime is a media player. VLC is a media player. I like VLC because it opens up everything. Watch this.
Forever's gonna start. Once upon a time I was falling in love. Now I'm falling apart. Nothing I can do slowly clears the heart.
So you may be wondering what the video is. So this video, I think it still have, I think if you actually do a get info on the video, you can actually see the metadata, which I accidentally left on there. Oh well. Is there any metadata? Anyway, that video was from 2019.
Forever's gonna start. Once upon a time I was falling in love. Now I'm falling apart. Everything I can do slowly clears the heart.
This was the last time, this was, I think, August of 2019, when the last time I was in Vegas, Las Vegas, for DEF CON. It was myself, the CISO of a very famous investing company, very famous investing firm, and Josh Abraham, who actually, funny thing is, this semester he's teaching offensive security at Tufts. So we were hanging at the bar at the Paris Hotel and Casino at night, and it was dueling piano night. And I caught this video. Oh man, it's hard to think about because, you know, it seems like that was such a great time, but it also seems like so long ago. So long ago. I want to give a shout out to Josh. Hopefully he's surviving offensive security this semester. But that was actually the last time I was in Vegas for DEF CON. But also, I think the other big thing to change is I don't know if I will ever go back to another bar. I quit drinking this past summer. Fun times. Fun times. Yeah. Yeah, those are some memories you never ever money can't buy. Yeah. All right. So I'll do one more exercise. We've got 5 minutes left. So I want to talk about this thing called Base64. Base64, remember when I actually printed all that crap out to the terminal on set1.pcap? Well, the problem is, this is what happens when you actually print out binary data. When you print out binary data to like a terminal, or binary data to like anywhere, some dangerous shit can happen. I repeat, Base64 is what is called an encoding scheme. It goes from one data, one type of data, all it is to represent binary data to ASCII text format. Base64 is not encryption. Base64 is not encryption. Base64 is not encryption. Base64 is not encryption. It is encoding. Now, if you actually go and use, you can do Base64 Decoder. So I'm going to do a Base64 Decoder. I like this one, Base64decode.org. And I'm going to decode a string. I'm actually going to say, hello, Liam Itchy Dad. And Abby. That's a string. Oh shoot, I'm going to copy that. I need the encode. I need an encode option. Encode this string into Base64 format. And so the result is going to be this. Actually, this is not a good example because I want to add another exclamation point. Let's see. Ah, there you go. So I'm going to have hello, Itchy, Dad, and Abby. Here is an encoded Base64 string. But I have to decode it. Hello, Liam, Itchy Dad, and Abby. Okay? So one question I think you may have is, okay, so you can see that Base64 is an encoding format. And it's just whatever you encode, like pictures. A lot of pictures are usually Base64 encoded. Base64 is used for like pictures, for encoding pictures from binary to basic to ASCII text. One question that you may have is, what are the equal signs in Base64? There's a great Stack Overflow post. Aha! Why does a Base64 encoded string have an equal sign at the end? The short answer, padding. Now, why is Base64 encoding and Base64 important? Number one, Base64 is used for all kind of nefarious purposes, especially when we have to do with malware. Base64 is also used for pictures. Base64, unfortunately, is also used for this thing. Um, a request containing is also used in uh, username and passwords sometimes. In basic HTTP authentication, a request contains a header field of a form authorization colon basic, but the thing after it is a encoded base64 encoded string containing ID or username and password joined by a colon. Why is it designed? Don't ask. Okay? Base64 is used, we're going to use it quite a bit in this course. But one of the recognition exercise you have to understand now is when you see a string, alphanumeric string that contains an equal sign or an equal sign at the end of it, you always want to assume it's a Base64 encoded string. And then you can, of course, decode that. So let's do one final PCAP set. Set4.pcap. Now, where can we find that? These slides are not publicly available. This one is not publicly available. I will post a version of it though, not yet. I will post one today. I will post it afterwards. Open up Set4 in Wireshark. Okay, so now we need to find username and password sent in plain text or Base64 insecurely over the network. We need to find username and password pairs that are Base64. But then the next question is, are they legitimate? Is it legitimate? Why or why not? If it's legitimate, it goes onto the wall of sheep. If it's not, it's a phony. We don't care. I'm going to open up set4.pcap. Now I'm going to clear the filter. Well, a little bit of overtime, but that's okay. Now what I want to do is I want to do something called a find. You can use the hourglass here. Find a packet. Let's go to packet details, narrow and wide. Now we don't care about case sensitive. We want to do a string search. Authorization, colon, space, basic. I'm going to find. Found one. Found one of them. There it is. In fact, one of the beautiful thing that Wireshark does, hold on, I'm going to copy the text, copy the printable text. And I'm going to go to a Base64 decoder. And I'm going to decode, I don't want to decode authorization colon space basic. I don't want that. I want the thing after it. I want to decode this string that ends in a double equal. There it is. B. Rogers, colon, they played with great character. That's one. I'll find another one. We can find again. Found another one. I'm going to copy as printable text. I'm going to copy it. Here's another. D. Moyes, colon, I am a football genius. Username, colon, password. Find again. Found another one. And this one is, oh, sorry, found. Oh, found another one. This one. Try this one. Y W. This one is A. Ausler, ID10T expert, also known as Internet of Things. So all you need to do for search for strings, how you search for strings again? Do it again. Let's clear out the filter. There's no filter here. No filter. You see the little hourglass right here in Wireshark? Click on the hourglass, the magnifying glass, packet details, noun wide, string, and then whatever you type in. And then you hit find, whatever your string is. Now, what's one of the nice things about what Wireshark can do, it can actually Base64 decode for you. You can see the credentials. Base B. Rogers, they played with great character. Find another one. D. Moyes, I am a football genius. A. Ausler, ID10T expert. Why is Base64 used if you can just okay, blue cow dog, you get a it was, hey, I didn't design this shit. RFC 7235. Look at that documentation. I didn't design it. I'm not going to read it either. Why is it Base64? Yeah, is there a reason why it's Base64? Here it is. Hey, if there's anything, Blue Cow Dog, you win a gold star. If I could give you one, you get a gold star. It's a great question. Look at this. Even the documentation, the basic authentication scheme is not secure. No kidding, it isn't. But I didn't design it. Hey, look, no one gave a crap about security in the 70s or 80s. I guess that's the best answer, Blue Cow Dog. I got nothing else to say. Oh, what we do need to do is we need to make sure if the, sorry for the rant. If the username and password are legit. Let's do this. Let's go to that packet that we just had. Right click, follow TCP stream. Or you can follow HTTP stream, which is more specific, but that's not good. You can see authorization required. You can see the Base64. So there's YNJ, whatever it is. This one was B. Rogers, they played with great character. But you got an error here. The server could not verify that you are authorized to access the document requested. You either applied the wrong credential, or your browser doesn't understand how to supply the credential required. Oh, that's not good. This is bad. If this was a legitimate username and password, you would see 400, you would say 200 OK or login successful. You wouldn't see a number in the 401 or 400. So you have to use your brain and your judgment call now that to see if to really identify if the username and password is good or not. You actually have to take a look at, you actually have to follow the TCP stream and see the end result. What about that other one? What about that Ann Ausler one? Or what about David Moyes? Try this again. Okay, how about this one? This one was the Dave Moyes, I'm a football genius one. Follow TCP stream. Nope, that's not good. ZG1, nope, not good. You still got a 401, bad. This is not a good username and password. It's wrong. Find again. What about this Ann Ausler one? Follow TCP strip, follow HTTP, doesn't matter which one you pick sometimes. No bueno. No bueno. 401. No bueno. So we found 1, 2, 3 username and passwords in this set, in set 4.pcap. Yeah, we found three username and password. D Moyes, B Rogers, A Outler. But each and every one of them, you did to follow the TCP stream. It said HTTP 401 authorization required. Not good. So you have 3 username and password identified, but none of them are good. They don't go on the wall of sheep. No, not at all. So you have 3 username password pairs, none of them are valid. So now where do you actually go from here? One last slide. So yeah, you can, you can learn this on, you can do more on your own. You can reconstruct files, you can volunteer at the wall of sheep. There's also a lot of places on the interweb where you can download PCAPs and packets. Yeah. I don't know if the Packet Detective game is actually live for the public to use yet. If you ever at DEF CON, the real conference, yeah, there's a Capture the Packet event at our village. There's a Black Badge event. Lifetime VIP to DEF CON. That's all I got, folks. Oh, there's T-Shark, which is actually a command line version of Wireshark that's installed with Wireshark. That's about it. Yeah, that's it. Set 4, yeah, no bueno. No bueno. All right. Folks, I had a lot of fun. I hope you did as well. I hope you had a lot of fun as well. So happy Thursday. For those of you in Massachusetts, stay safe from the snowstorm that's going to be coming up. Yeah, so next week we are going to do network reconnaissance. Yeah. Next week, network reconnaissance. Take care, folks. Have a good night and a safe weekend.